Welcome everyone as a continuation. Today we will continue on patenting. Okay, we will discuss what is a patent, what could be patented, what is not patentable, and then what is the process for submitting a patent and how does a patent work. Okay, we'll discuss about patenting first. After finishing on patent, we'll go back to the question answers which you have raised in the previous session. Okay, they'll be answered through in this session as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to write your comments or your concerns through the chat so that we can follow up and we can enhance the session as well. First of all, why you need a patent? Why should I do a patent? What is the necessary need of submitting a patent? I'm just doing my research. I'm publishing my papers. I can apply for funds. I can do some grants. Why I need a patent? Okay, this is the first question anybody will ask. So basically, under the US Constitution, it says if somebody invents something, you want to provide them some exclusive rights. What are the rights that are given to the person who is patenting something? So here is the explanation. So here you are given the right as an inventor or the owner of the patent. What do you mean by inventor? What do you mean by owner of the patent? Are they different? Sometimes it is possible that there are a group of people who are inventing something, but the patent is assigned or the owner to an university, for example, or to an organization. So it is assigned to an organization and invented by few colleagues. And this is protected for a period of 14 to 20 years, okay? Provided you submit what is called maintenance fee. We will see what is maintenance fee, what is the use of maintenance fee, how costly it is. We will discuss this today. And then when you submit a patent, generally you submit a patent in different countries. Like for example, US, Europe, India, there are many places where you can submit patents. So you will follow them through. What is granted by a patent is this. You will have, okay, what is granted is not the right to make, use, offer for sale, sell or import, but right to exclude others. The main point is excluding others. Once I am patenting something, others cannot make something without my permission, like, okay? So patent is assigned to an assignee. The assignee or the owner has the patent. And once you have the patenting rights, you get money out of it, okay? This is the idea. So what are the criteria for patenting something? Can I just patent anything? No, you can only patent something that meets these criteria, all the three. Number one, it should be useful. Don't tell me I will come up with something which is not really useful, right? If it is not useful, what is the purpose of it? It should be useful. Meaning you can come up with some design, you can come up with some process, some product, you can come up with something. But does it serve the purpose? Does it serve the purpose? Is it useful to us? This is the question mark, okay? So does it serve the purpose of its usefulness? This is number one. Number two, is it something new? Is it something which has been there already? Then you cannot patent something which is existing. It should be new. When you say something is new, how new is new? Can I change just one small part and say it is new? It is novel. How to define something is novel and something is not novel? This is done using what is called non-obvious. So there is something which is already existing. You come up with something new. If you compare them, okay, is the difference obvious, right? Or is it just very simple, small little change here and there? So the change should be in such a way that it's designed or it is worth to be patented, okay? So these are the three criteria. Number one, it should be useful, okay? Number two, it should be novel. Number three, non-obvious in nature. These are three. there are different types of patents. Basically, there are three types of patents: utility patent, design patents, and plant patents. And each of them are meant for specific things. And they also have how long it is patented for. For example, a design patent is for 14 years from the day of issue, okay? From the day the patent is issued. A utility patent is for 20 years from the day you file it, when you file your patent. A plant patent is for 20 years from the day you file. Please note, if there is no maintenance fee, okay? So these are the point, there is no maintenance fee here. So what do you mean by utility patent? What do you mean by design patent? Let's look at what covers each one of these types. If you talk about a design patent, okay, design, something of a design. For example, I'm talking about the design of a screen, right? Design of some ornament, right? Some design. This is about design, right? So the main point here is the appearance is patented. Appearance is protected. So this is something very common, okay? This is the design patent. Next one is called plant patent. Maybe this is not relevant to people who are in our computing or engineering background, but those who are from, agriculture, biology, and these areas, this is relevant to them. Normally, they patent something which is asexually reproducible plants, and these are mostly flowers. So this is under plant patent. The third one, which is utility patents. You could find lots of utility patents around, okay? So what is utility patent? You can come up with a machine. You can come up with the process, how the machine works, the composition of the machine itself. There are many things which are covered by the utility patent. So we are seeing three types: design, plant, and utility. So if you see by 2013, I'm just taking an year as an example, you will find most of the patents are utility patents. A good number are utility. A small amount is in design and very limited ones is under plant patents. Okay. So you will find plenty of utility patents submitted. So question is, what can be patented? You can patent a process. You can patent a machine. You can patent an articles of manufacture, a composition of matter, and improvements of any of this. So for example, you are going to make, what is called tennis string. And suppose you come up with a new process of making the tennis string. New, something novel. That could be patented. Or you bring up a machine that will do it. Okay. So this will be like a machine that is going to produce something. Okay, but again, a new machine which should meet the criteria of usefulness, utility, non-obvious. It should meet all these criteria. Okay, so then it could be patented. Number three, the item itself. You come up with a different style of that tennis string, or maybe different structure. Okay, or you can have the composition itself, kind of the chemistry of it. You are using a different material or materials of it. You can use it, and then it could be improvements. There's already a process. You're coming up with something improved version of it. There's already a machine used to generate. You are coming up with an improvement in the machine. Is it clear? Am I making things clear until now?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's clear,
okay.
Sir.
Okay. So these are things that can be patented. Okay. There are things which cannot be patented. Right? Something which is like a formula, like an algorithm, something abstract, right? Some laws of the nature, some physical phenomena, and some literary stuff. These things cannot be patented. Okay. So don't come up with these things which are to be patented. But there are some things which could be copyrighted. There is a difference between, there is a difference between copyright and patenting. We will discuss that in the slides to come. Look, somebody, is there someone asking me something?
Sir, I don't think that is from our end. They've as of now muted everybody so that the session goes without disturbance.
Okay, let me continue. Look, one of the criteria for patenting is something to be useful. We have seen this. It should be useful. If I come up with a design like this, an umbrella design, which is just saving the legs from the rain, for example, is it useful? Right? So people will question the usefulness of your design, of your patent. And then novelty. Here there is a problem. Some people ask this very common question. Okay, very important question. Look, I have done some work. I want to publish. I want to publish a paper out of it. Also, I want to submit it for a patent. It is allowed or not? Can I do both? Because I will submit a patent. It will take a long time for them to approve my patent, for my patent to be accepted. It will take time. Why should I wait? Can't I publish anything? Right? By general policy, invention has not been disclosed before. This is the point. This is the general policy of patenting. Something you have not submitted as an article, something you have not presented in a conference, or maybe it is not part of a book, or it is not part of a previous patent as well. Right? This is vital. In the US patent, there is a procedure. They allow this. They allow what is called 1 year grace period. Okay. So for example, if I publish a paper and from the paper, I'm going to come up with a patent, maybe a derived version of it, something little bit more from it. Is it allowed? Yes, you can do it within 1 year. This is allowed in US patent. But again, these things, these are theoretically spoken, but when it comes to application, it becomes little tough. Once something is already disclosed to the public, to patent it is difficult. It's not straightforward process. Okay. So when you are talking about novelty, it could be things on the physical side, or a new combination, or a new use. So you have some item, some hardware, but it is useful for some other purpose. This is one thing. Or combining different things into one single task. This is combination of different things. And you can come up with a change in color, change in the composition, change in the size. Well, if you just change the size, change the color, do you think it could be patented straight away? No. It should be useful. It should have, it should meet all the 3 criteria of patenting. Okay, this is important. So remember this point, which is non-obvious. Something novel, something useful, something non-obvious. These are cases by which a patent could be unsuccessful. Okay, this is possible. So now let us talk about the process of patent application. Patent application, there are 2 applications possible. One is called provisional application. Okay, provisional one. The other one is a patent application itself. What is the difference between? Let's say I have an idea. I have come up with something novel. I think it is very important. But I know there are others in the world who are also working in the same line. I want to take hold of the position before somebody takes hold. Right? I want to be the first one, because only the first one gets the patent. The others are not to be patented. Okay? Even though 2 people work on the same thing or work on similar stuff without both knowing each other, whomever files first gets it. Okay? So in the case of provisional application, the claims is not necessary. What do you mean by a claim here? We'll discuss. It is less expensive to file a provisional patent. The patent office is not going to examine your provisional application. Only thing you get mainly is this one. You have an early filing date. But remember, after you submit the provisional application, within 1 year, you should submit the actual application itself. So you are given a period of 1 year. Right. In the patent application, what are the things you should write? Or what are the tasks you should accomplish? Number 1, you should describe your invention. You should talk about the various claims. You should have some drawings. Mostly you will find almost all patents have drawings, because most of them are utility patent. Utility patent meaning mostly like designs and some kind of machinery. So there will be pictures. Okay, there'll be drawings. And then there will be a declaration by the inventor, plus you have to pay the fees. So let's talk about each one of them. So this is the process. You will submit your file, your request to USPTO, okay, if you are submitting for the US patent. Then it is assigned to an examiner. The examiner is going to do this, what is called prior art search. Okay, he's going to do search. What is this prior art search? Prior art search meaning something which is done in the past. So he is going to do kind of literature review. Okay, he's going to do LR for us. He's going to compare things for us. See whether a similar patent has been filed before, something which is close to it is there already. So how does he do this prior art? Please note, don't mislead with the word art. The word art here means state of the art. Okay, so they are going to check on the state of the art in this area. How to do it, we will discuss. Then they come up with an action from the examiner. And there is a response from the applicant. Finally, you can complete the process. So by average, you will see it takes around 24.6 months, approximately 2 years. Okay. Right. Here is the fee structure. By the way, the amount I'm mentioning here, I got from a slide, which is basically 2014-15, that duration. Maybe these numbers have changed now, right? So you will see, you have filing charges, search charges, examination, maintenance. Most of the time, the maintenance fees are costly compared to the other fees. Okay. And there is also fees you pay for the legal people, the attorney, who is going to prosecute, who is going to proceed with your patent. Normally that is costlier as well. So it's a long process. It's a little bit expensive. Please note, we have what is called trademarks. We also have what is called copyright. What is a trademark? Trademark is given for different products. Okay, you will find them, right? This is just a trademark. You will find, like, for different companies from the source, it says whose product is this. That's it. And then if you talk about copyright, if you have your book, your writings, your materials published, unpublished, this could be copyright. And you will find copyright, trademark, patent, three things. What are the contents of a patent documentation? So this is the patent, the first page of a patent. You will find you have a title here. Here it says who are the inventors. Then this is the assignee. I told you there are 5-6 people who are inventors here. And then the assignee is towards Amazon, for a company, for an institution, for an organization. Then it says what was the date it was filed. Okay. Then there is what is called classification. This is very important for us to understand. Why we need classification? Because let's say I want to submit a patent. I have an idea, and the idea is novel. According to me, it is novel. According to me, it is new. How could I make sure it is not something which is close to what has been patented before, what has been published before? How do I search? I go to Google, I make a search. Is it possible? It's a tedious job. By the way, it is very tedious if I'm going to check for everything like this. So what they do, they have done what is called classification. They have classified things. Okay, these things belong to this area, sub-classification, sub-areas, and so on. So this will make the search easier. We will discuss them today. And then you will also find relevant, related patents. See, these are relevant patents. These are US patents. These are non-US. There are other patents. As I've told you, patent is based on a country. And then you have a number for a patent. This is a unique number. Okay. No two patents will have the same number. And then there are other components of a patent, which we will discuss today. Here is another example. So it's much more clear here. The name, right? The inventors, the assignee. Then there's a file date. This is the code, the search, which will make our search easy. And then you will see the patent number here, and so on and so forth. You can see this is the date of the patent. This is the filing date. So this is when they filed, this is when it was accepted, kind of, it was approved. Okay. All right, let me just keep going. Normally in a patent, you will find a lot of figures like this. I'm just showing you a figure here. There are a lot of figures like this which you see in a patent. And these numbers would have been explained in the patent. Okay, very common. So what are the contents of a patent document? You have seen the first page. After that, you have a background. You have a summary. You have what is called detailed description. You have claims. The most important thing is this, the claims. Okay. So in the case of background, it is like our literature review in a paper. How is what has been done before? How is your work different from what exists already? Why do you think it is important? Okay. And then you have summary where you discuss about what are the advantages of this patent and what are the problems does this patent solve? What is this you are solving here? If it is not solving anything, it means it is of no use, right? So we are looking for some usefulness. That is mentioned under the summary. Then you have a detailed description. This is where you talk about your patent in terms of explanation. Maybe some figures, explaining the figure. What is this? You know, some examples, some definitions. All these are under this part. So here is the claims. I told you claims is very important. Normally when we prepare patent, we are technically strong, but we are not legally strong. So we normally get help from some legal people. Okay. Some attorneys, some people, sometimes we have some office, patenting office in the universities, in the organization, which can help us, right? They look for the legal boundaries. So if you read this kind of paragraph, the claim, you will find the way it is written is not like our writing style. It is more towards a legal one. So you can see, I will just show you an example. The space elevator tower was as claimed in one, wherein the space elevator tower includes this and that. Okay. So you will find this is the most important thing. If you are, what you want to mention is not mentioned in the claim, you cannot say somebody is infringing your patent rights. You cannot say this. Okay. So let's move on. So here you will see we have words called comprising, consisting of, they make a difference. If the word comprising is used, if your patent is made up of element A and B, right? If someone is using A only or B only, he is not infringing the rights of your patent. He is not infringing because your claim is comprising of A and B. But if you talk about consisting of, right, and so on, so you will find here, if A or B is used, the person is not infringing. The claim only covers A and B together. So you have to see which one. Right? So the words here are very important. Please be careful. I know when we write, we don't look at this, but the legal people know how to write this, how to handle this. Is that clear?
Yes, it's going on.
Okay. So a claim can be dependent, can be independent as well. Okay. Let's move on. So you have an idea how to start patenting. First, when you have an idea, okay, the concept is there in your mind. Then you think about what is the use of it. You will prepare what is called invention report. Please note, these preparation of invention report is not mandatory. Nobody told you you should do it. It is just for your own benefit, so that you don't waste your time and money applying something and then you get nothing out of it. So what is invention report? What are the contents of the invention report? Invention report, you talk about what is your invention, what is the purpose of your invention, right? Is it unique? What about what is existing already? Existing art means state of the art, right? Is it unique or not? Is your invention a product or a process? How does it work? Okay, this is the function. What is the structure of your invention? What is the application of it? Who are the beneficiaries? Who are the stakeholders? So you find answers for all these points and you prepare them with you. Okay, get them ready. You don't submit to anybody, but this is for your personal collection. Once you have this ready, next step, you do a search. You do a search yourself. Yes, when you submit your patent, somebody is going to do the search. The examiner is going to do the search for you. Yes. But why don't you do a search before you submit? Okay. So you do your search yourself. Then you make a decision whether it is feasible to submit, whether it is worth to submit or not. Then you can submit your patent. You can apply for your patent. That's it. So this is done by the inventor side. Okay. So what do you mean by prior art search? I have told you already, art means state of the art. Why we want to do it? We want to make sure our product, our invention is patentable. By the way, the patent examiner will do a thorough search. How thorough, how many databases, how many hours they will spend on it, we'll discuss. I will show you later on in a slide how long. They use a very long period. It's an intensive search they do. Okay. So what they want to do, they want to make sure whether it is already patented, whether it is available in a publicly available document like a book, like a conference, like a paper, like anything. Okay. So they are going to check all this and they want to see whether it meets all the three criteria, right? So you can search in anything, even in newspaper, for example, from internet, from thesis, from books, from any source. It should not match. If the idea is matching, then it cannot be patented. That's the idea. So why you want to search for patent? You want to see what has been there already. You want to see whether it is patentable, whether your idea has already been protected by somebody, whether there is something already existing. These are things you check for. Please note, you are doing a search to check for patentability of the invention. Okay, now let us look at the most important point of searching. To do searching, we have what is called CPC, which is a classification, Cooperative Patent Classification. Okay, these are codes. By the way, the CPC is used only from 2015. Previously, they were using different codes. Okay, they were using CPC and USPC codes. What is the use of these codes? Why not we just use keywords? Because we want to make sure the search is effective. Search is useful for us. Okay, that's it. So how to do the search? Here are some websites over which you do some search. I will discuss these points. Then I will show you on the site how they will do the search. Okay. So UPTSO, this is the websites of the US Patent Office. They have patents back to 1970s. Sorry, 1790s. 1790s, please note. And only from 1976, you have something which is searchable. What? The ones before are images. They are not searchable. They are just images. Okay. So what do? You can search on two things. Search on patents which are already issued. Search on patents which are filed but pending issuing. It is still pending. It is filed. For example, I want to apply for a patent. Right? Professor Kumar has applied for a patent. He has filed for a patent. Right? Should I search my request on his applied one, which is not issued, but he has applied, he has filed? Yes, we will search both on the issued and the pending ones. Okay, you search both, but this search has to be done separately. I mean, you have to do one time for pending, one time separately for issue. And you will find this UPTC, the USPTO of database is updated regularly. So here is the process. Okay, if I discuss this slide with you, it will be a little bit unfriendly, right? So what I'm going to do now, right, is to go and show you what happens here. Here is the website. Okay, I'm going to, let me just move it here. Right here, this is the UPTSO. This is their site. And if I want to make a search, I can search like this, CPC schema umbrella, for example. Okay, search, right? What it is going to give me? It's going to give me a result of the CPC scheme. You see the CPC scheme? What is this scheme Bukhari is talking about? Let me show you an example of CPC. This is the CPC code. You will find, right, there is a space here, important. This is the first one, indicates a section, and the next is the class, then there is a subclass, then there is a main group, there is a subgroup. For example, if you talk about, G02C7/04, it is about contact lenses. And if you talk about this one, this is about toys. And you will see here, it is under same division, this one, same section here, same class. And then the subclass is also the same. But then the group and the subgroup are different. This is about toys. This is about fabrics. This is about the composition, maybe like animals, the figure of the toy, the style of the toy, and so on and so forth. Are you following the CPC now? Do you understand the CPC? Participants, are you following? If you have any concerns, any queries, you can just type in the chat. Right. So here is the case. You can go to this site, you make a search, and you will see the CPC scheme. If I click here, it will take me to the respective scheme. See? So this is the scheme. Now I got my classification number. Okay. Then inside, it gives me which are relevant to me. I'm talking about umbrella, right? But there are many things which are not relevant to me here. So then I need to exclude them. So this is the idea. You can search, okay, umbrellas which are made of paper, umbrellas which are like this, and so on and so forth. But instead, if I just search umbrella, you will get plenty. That is the idea. If I go here there are two parts. This is patented ones. These are applications. So for example, if I want to search on the filed ones, okay, I can say, for example, if I want to do umbrella, right, and then I say search, right, you will find it gives me lots. Some things which are not relevant to me. Look, automated web service, not related. So this is why just a normal search will give you tough time. And please note, when you want to make the search, right, you have to make sure you choose CPC classification system scheme. You have to choose the right one to search here. Okay. So these, how to make a search, how to change this, it is mentioned here. Please watch out for this. So here, I will go here and select CPC, current CPC classification. Then I can enter the CPC here. For example, I have the CPC from this. Let me take one of them. I'm just doing an example here. Okay. Let's say I'm talking about umbrella made of papers. Copy this guy, go here, paste it here. Please note, don't have any space here. All right, remove the space. So all this which I'm explaining to you now is mentioned here. It is clearly written here, search CPC without space, select this, and so on and so forth. Okay. If you follow the process, it's clear. You search, now you'll get the details. See, it gives me clearly one, applied one, and this is the one. I can see what are their claims, how is it relevant to me, and then I will decide. Is it clear now? Is the search getting clear?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay. For example, okay, there is something more as well. If I'm going to search here by the word umbrella, okay, umbrella. If there is a plural, for example, if I want to say plant, plural, I can use $, here, okay, which will search both singular and plural as well. See? Okay. It will also give you the word plants and plant and so on and so forth. So if I want to match, okay, singular and plural, I can use $, at the end when I'm going to make a search with a keyword. So please note, here are the stuff. Let me repeat just quickly. you have to know what is CPC. CPC is just a classification, right? If you don't know the classification, you can search using CPC scheme and the name. You will get the classification, and then from there you can search on two things: one, the applied ones, and the issued patents. Applied and issued, two things. You can also search using a keyword. If you are using keyword, please indicate a $sign at the end. This is kind of regular expression to search for singular, plural, to match it better. Okay, that's it. Other than USPTO, there are also other patenting sources. For example, you have the Google patents. Okay, you can search here as well. Okay, you can go to this site, you can search. Then you have what is called international patents. What is this? I told you earlier, a few minutes ago, or at the start of the presentation, there is nothing called world patents, world patent. You have to file per country. So don't think that I'm going to file a patent for the whole world. No, it's not feasible. Okay. There is also WIPO. It is basically combining all of them. This is a database over which you can search. It's a searchable database from different countries. But when you file the patent, you file it per country or per authority. You have European one. Okay. It is including 38 members. Okay, you can submit it here. You have ESPaceNet, which is again using plenty of countries around. You can see the patent number for the ESP, they use the EP, right? So here is a situation we can search. For example, I want to know what are the patents that has been filed or that has been accepted, right, by kind of MP3 players. Okay, you can search from this site. You can search from the Google patents as well. You can also search from ESpace. You can search for 3 places. Here is a sample file for you. Okay, sample file which explains. Wait. Let me open this file for you, which gives you a sample of how the process is being done. Right, you could use this as a sample to practice. Right, so here is a practice. They will show you how to do the step by step is given in this example with the umbrella as an example. See, for example, they search for umbrella, CPC scheme umbrella, right? Then what is next? Then they look for the specific one. They will want to see is it relevant to them or not. Then they can go into PAT FT. This is the issued patent. Okay, APP is applied. PAT FT is the issued. Go to the PAT, write the number with no space, select them. So all these are mentioned here. So if you follow this, you will get the closely related patents which has been issued related to what you want to apply for. Then you go and read them, you decide on them. Okay. So it's just an example file. There is also what is called SkyFinder. Okay, this is again another one. This is mostly useful for chemistry. This is for chemistry side. If you are going to go for patents latest to chemistry area, okay, so you can use SkyFinder. There is also Derwent Innovation Index. Here again, you can search for patents there. Now I'm going to give you some facts. When you submit your patent to the patent office of USPTO, examiner spends around 22 hours investigating whether your patent is patentable. They spend 22 hours around and they search on 38 databases to make sure your work is really worth patenting. Okay, so next, 1790 was the very first patent, right? So this was the very first patent. It was signed by President George Washington. And by 2013, you see these are the top 10 corporate companies who have filed patents or who have issued patents, issued. IBM has the largest number, Samsung, and so on and so forth, okay, in a year. Here, this is the academic ones, different universities in the world. These are just for you to know what happens. Now, a question for you. What is this? Any idea what is this?
Looks like sewing machine.
Okay. Others, type in the chat. Just type in. Let's see what we guess. Oh. Any idea? Anybody? Why the chat is not showing to me? Yes. You know, this is, what is this? This is our famous mouse. You know, this is our mouse, the mouse we are using right now. It was applied in 1967, patented in 1970. This is a figure from the patent of the mouse. Okay, now if you think from the perspective of the mouse, you will know. So this is how a patent, some parts of the patent look like. Right? And here are some references. Fine. Now I am open up for some questions, and then you can write your questions on the chat. Meanwhile, I'm going to answer questions from the previous session. Okay. Dr. Jyoti, maybe you can open up the chat so people can write their questions.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, it's open, sir. No,
Okay.
it's open. Yeah.
Now I'm going to go through a different topic. Previous time, when we discussed in the previous session about grants, a good number of you asked me lots of questions. Okay, they were very important questions. So I did spend some good time figuring out to show you some examples of it. Let me go through these questions and their answers. Meanwhile, feel free to write any question you have. Okay, here we have lots of websites. I'm going to go through these websites and some examples as well for us to refer. So here, if let's say I'm looking for grants, some of us ask me a question. Look, I want to know what grants are available, how to figure out. How do I know those grants, right? Here is a list of grants available for us. Okay, it's a list of grants. So the agency, the scheme they provide, what is the eligibility, deadline, duration. By the way, you can download this as an Excel file and it is frequently updated. Okay, this is for India. So it is published by TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. So it's a very reliable source and they have big lists. So it's very useful. So I did download their Excel file. Okay, so you will find here and you can search and figure out what you're looking for. The advantage of this Excel file is this. You can go here, right? You can go and choose your eligibility. They have conditions. Look, you can choose. You can choose the deadline. You can choose the duration and so on and so forth. This will make your search very easy. Did I answer your important question today? I think this was one of your important question in the previous session. All right, next one. So let me go across to another one. By the way, these answers are not just a quick search in Google that gives you answer. It did take a lot of time to search for these things. If you have a Mendeley account, okay, you can go and look for various funding options under Mendeley. Now you can go to Mendeley and look for opportunities, right? So you can see here, you can do funding opportunities. You can filter which area you want, funding type. You can choose them, the country of the citizenship, amount, what you're looking for, application deadline. By the way, this is international. So for example, if I go here and write India, our country, right, you will find it reduces the number. And then let's say I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking for specifically area computing, for example, right? So you will find it changes. It has 240 now, only 240. And then I can constrain it. I can say, okay, I'm only looking for things on AI, right? You will still see it gets down to the numbers. So this can help you to make a search. And you can also fine tune your search. That is advantage here, right? This is the second one. A third one, there were some colleagues who were asking me specifically for chemistry, specifically for different things, okay, biology and so on. You will find them as well. Here, you will find this is more towards bioscience. They have funds which are related to bioscience. Okay, you can figure out some of them here. Those who are from computing, if you want to know various grants that are available, here is a collection written by one professor in IIT. You will find there are some of them here. By the way, a good number of them here are already in the first, already applied, already present in the first website, this one. So I strongly recommend going to this site and also using their Excel file. Okay, this will make our job very easy. Let's move on. What about if suppose we are looking for some scholarships and I'm looking for things for the students? Okay, here is a good opportunity. If you go to AICTE page, they have scholarships, research funds, educational loans. These are mostly for students. And you can choose which area you want to choose. Okay, so according to what you want, you can figure out here. Right, there are lots of options here. Let's move further. And then there is also another site which is for scholarships only. So please note, these are some references. Right, there was a question in the previous session. It was about what if I cite something, my citation in open access journal, is it not so good compared to a non-open access? Well, this is not related to grant, but it is also related to citation, which we discussed in the previous session. Remember, open access citation, people start questioning. Some people say, no, it is not good, and so on and so forth. There is an article which explains, which nullifies this idea. It says that it is not true that open access means you get high citation. Okay, here is an article, right? So it explains it here. It's not just a matter of, just publishing here and there and getting some numbers by open access, but you have to be careful. Some people question the validity of open access. Okay, but if you're going for very good journals, reputed journals, as mentioned by Professor Mayank in the first session, then that shouldn't be an issue there. Some of you have asked me for some use cases, some samples. Okay, there are plenty of samples available online. Having gone through these samples, I'm going to discuss with you some samples which could be helpful for you. If let's say you are looking for samples in different areas, okay, you can go to some of these links here where you will find. Today I will discuss some samples with you. Okay, if you go here, you will find examples in mathematics, examples in humanities, science, different areas. So if you are looking for examples from different areas, feel free to look at these examples. Let me take one example from India. Here is an example. Okay, this is a sample proposal submitted to DST, okay, Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. It's a sample. It is a guideline. So if you look at this, it talks about study and analysis of lightweight, high-speed robot arm. So you will see the point is, it's a robotic arm, lightweight, high speed. This is the main point there. And if you go down, you will find, okay, details. Who are all the persons involved in this, the experts. And if you go down further, by the way, it keeps saying it is a sample, okay? We can refer to it. The duration, how amount, right? And here is a summary. Okay, here is a summary, project summary. Then you will find the keywords. Look at the keywords, the relevance of the keywords. There is introduction. And here he talks about what are the activities that will be done in this project. Okay. Origin of the proposal, from where they got this idea, kind of literature review here. And definition of the problem. Objectives. Look at the objectives. Okay. Then what is the importance of this work? So they are trying to say status of the research L&D, R&D from the international perspective as well. Okay, from the national perspective. So this is trying to show the importance of it, why it is that important. So you will see they come up with the importance of the proposed project. Okay, the importance of it, and there is some other comments around, right, references and so on and so forth. So if you see, there is a work plan how they want to do this grant. Okay, how they will do first 1 to 12 month time plan, and this is the budget. Remember, in budget there is recurring budgeting, there is equipments, how much it goes for the equipment per year. This is a 4-year 3-year project, so they mention for every year how much is the expenses. And here they have started down, you know, for example, here they say 1,93,000. So they explain here how you get this number. Okay, because they have research associate for them, they have to pay. Right, and here is the justification. Anything you write, you need to provide justification. Right, here it says why you need this many people, how much, what about the travel, why you need to travel, and so on and so forth. Okay, for every piece of money you ask for, you write justification. And here is the time schedule. Okay, when you will do what, and then this is the whole 3 years period is mentioned here. Okay, and these are the infrastructures they are going to use. Please note why they are providing this, because these are things, some of them maybe they already have. So in the budget, they are not including these things. These are not included. Okay, so they are making it clear, we already have this, so I don't need this. Okay, like this. And that's all on this. This is a sample for us to refer. Any questions on this sample? Are there some comments on the chat?
Not yet, sir. The chat box is actually open, so if there are any queries, they can type in.
Okay. Yeah. So for the patenting, there is a question on patenting difference between India and US. I didn't check the Indian Patenting Authority Office contents. I might need to check before I can answer this. But generally, the process remains the same. Okay, even if you apply for any patent, the process is similar. Right? Maybe there might be small changes between each other, but the process is the same. And the next question, okay, research grants only for doctorates. Please note, when I showed you the website where you have the eligibility, you have for different level of people, different level. Okay, it's not just doctorates only. And there are also grants which are for students, for postdocs, many levels. There are also undergraduate grants as well, by the way. Okay, I will show some of them today. I will show you shortly. Right, so this is one example. Let's take some other example which could be useful for us as well. Let me go back. Right. So if you are, yes, please.
Yes, sir. One doubt. So you mentioned in one of the slides that algorithms and formulae, etc., cannot be patented. So how about it in computer science and maths and all that?
No, what you will do, like you will show that this is applied on a product.
Oh, okay. How it improves the efficiency.
Yeah, it will be more towards a product. It's not more towards an algorithmic style. But by the way, if you just give a algorithm, they will not accept it. So here you will see this is again a place where you can find examples of biology stuff here. If you are looking for examples, because people ask for examples, right? It's good even to write any grant. We suggest you look at the examples, accepted examples. Here is an example. Okay, this is about museum something. There's another example which is on biology stuff. Okay, anatomy, physiology, cell biology. So I won't understand anything here, but you can refer to this. Those who are interested in biology area. If you are looking for international studies, here are some examples. You can also search for some examples. Okay, here, if you go to this kind of websites, you can search for example, if I search for sensors, it will give me different grants. okay, by NSF authority, right? And you will find abstracts here. Mainly it returns to me the abstracts, okay? From the abstract, I can get an idea what they are doing. This is another example as well. See, look at here. See, I can get this. If I click it, it will give me details, the abstract. You can see what they are planning to do in this grant. Okay, the grant started this, it ends here, estimated, this is the amount, and these are the investigators, and it is under this manager is doing this, and so on and so forth. This is it is by NSF. Okay, it is an NSF grant. Okay, so let's take some other examples as well. Here are some other examples I have. By the way, all the links I have provided here. Okay, if you are looking for international funding sources, you can also look from this link here. So you will find search for different things here, and there are searches here. Here are some examples. By the way, sometimes you might feel this, okay, I'm somebody who is a budding researcher, a new researcher. I cannot, or I'm not inclined to go for a grant straight away. Can I be part of a grant? Can I get involved? Right? You will find some examples like this. If you go into websites like this, I'm just giving one example. And if you go into this one, okay, right? These are some projects for which they are looking for some collaborations. See, it's written here, opportunities to collaborate. Okay, external collaboration. So maybe you can look at this and you can become part of it. You can contribute it, right? And then slowly you will learn how a grant is done, how the process is done, how they write the technical report, and so on and so forth. Even some reports are here. Okay, you can find some of the reports, some papers, some theses are also mentioned here. So these are some examples for you to learn. This is from BITS Pilani. You can find some examples here. The link is here. If you want to see some grants which are approved by some other institutions, like for example, from IITs as well, they have mentioned it here. Sometimes what I do, I look for some of this, and then I go and search for these things here. I go and search. Or I will search for this concerned faculty member. Maybe they have some papers in that area, which will guide me what they are working on. Okay, what is that they are investing on? So I will only choose that are relevant to me. I'm not going to choose everything and do a search which will take ages for me. Right? I will only choose things which are relevant to me. So let's look at some other examples here. Okay. Let me open up some examples. I'm going to open some examples and I'll go through one by one. Okay. All right. I have collected a good number of these samples here just for us to refer through. Look at this example. Okay. Here is an example where they have the proposal here and they have comments here. Okay. So what is the problem? Right? What are the issues behind it? How to improve them? It is mentioned. So if you go through, like for example, in this, our hypothesis and work are based off significant research done in this area. And they say should interpret evidence in the context of a project, go beyond summarizing. So it is basically just summarizing here, you need to go further. So this is like you have written a report, a proposal, somebody has given comments for it. Okay, so using this comment, you can learn. Right? This will help you to learn. So if you take one or two examples here, it will learn. For example, let's take the research question. How can we develop an interface that supports students developing a growth mindset by providing useful feedback embedded within a student's code editing interface? They say this is a clear one. Okay. And then they explain, in order to solve this, these are the research questions, two main questions. Then they explain in detail, technical research question, design research question. They go in detail. Okay. So this is the idea. So the point is, you take an already annotated report, something which is given comments for you. Okay. From which you can understand how to improve your own writing. So here is an example. Let's take some other example as well. Here is another example where you have annotations written. What is it meant for? Right? Look at this. So here are some comments here. So this talk about, this is the summary. Okay. And these are the contributors' names. If you go down further, this is the CV of each individual who are participating in this grant. You have to submit your CV. So here you see research plan, specific aims. In the previous session, we did discuss about specific aims. Okay. So you will find use short sentences. This is important. And there is no typographical error. So it's commented here. It is what? So if you belong to this area and you read it, you will get an insight. You will get an idea. So what about the hypothesis? They have bolded it here. Okay. So they want to make things more clear. The specific hypothesis is behind this is that this one regulator is a major regulator, this. So they have bolded the hypothesis to make it more visible to the reader. Okay. What about the scope of the research? The scope, they have made it clear. What is the scope? Scope 1, 2, 3. Make it more clear and specific. So these are examples from different areas. If really we have time, maybe we can go one in detail, but again, we are people from different background, so might not be that relevant to go through each one of them. So here is another example. Okay. This is Horizon. Horizon is a very famous research funding authority. Okay. And you will find here they explain about space. This is more towards space research one, space research. Okay. So you will find here Galileo and so on and so forth. Those who are interested in space research area, they can look at this one. Here is an IT related, but not really IT, but more towards business kind of. Okay. You'll find some examples here. So I've shown you some examples today. So we can look at some of these examples. If you want me to go through, we can look at this. Here is another example. Okay. So if you go in here, here it talks about the summary and the introduction, then the problem statement and so on. Whatever we have discussed before, it is mentioned.